CoCo Vandeweghe claims Aryna Sabalenka could be developing a huge difference maker to help her beat CoCo Gauff. Aryna Sabalenka battled through a titanic contest on Monday evening against Emma Raducanu. The Belarusian was pushed to the brink by Raducanu, but ultimately triumphed in 3 sets, winning 7-6-4 to 6-7 to 6 in Cincinnati. Sabalenka, who is looking to defend her U.S. Open title later this month, demonstrated why she is world number 1 by frequently playing her best tennis on the biggest points. The 27-year-old, who made history against Emma Raducanu, will be hoping to continue her good form in the next round and strengthen her chances of defending her Cincinnati Open title from 2024. Sabalenka's start to the year was tumultuous, having lost the Australian Open final and French Open final to Madison Keys and CoCo Gauff respectively. While her attention has been firmly focused on the American hard courts, Sabalenka has been advised as to how she can strengthen her game when facing Gauff, a player she has struggled against in the past. Aryna Sabalenka is told coming forward to the net could be a huge difference maker. Aryna Sabalenka has struggled in the biggest moments against CoCo Gauff. Of the 3 Grand Slam final losses Sabalenka has on her record, 2 have been against Gauff. This is something that must be changed moving forward if the Belarusian is to enjoy continued success in the years to come. Speaking on the Tennis Channel Live podcast, former professional player and doubles specialist Nick Monroe spoke about the introduction of Max Mirnyi into the Sabalenka setup. Mirnyi won a combined 10 doubles and mixed doubles titles during his career. Nick Monroe said, "That's one thing she brought Max Mirnyi on for. I was able to speak with Max a couple of days ago, and I said, 'Hey, what are you guys working on?' He said, 'Look, she's got so much power. I want her to come forward. I want her to trust herself in big moments.' So obviously she already trusts herself in big moments, but now if she's able to come forward and take volleys out of the air and not let those balls drop, that's going to help her in big moments. And look, she was number 1 in the world in doubles as well, so she knows how to volley. So, what makes her so clutch is that belief she has in herself, but also that was 3 hours and 9 minutes that match, so she's so physically fit. She didn't even look tired in that match. So just being that physically fit and having the belief, and now coming forward. I mean, watch out." Former WTA world number 9 CoCo Vandeweghe added, "And having faced world number 1s myself, that is definitely the intangible factor is the fact they come in clutch. You saw her serve massive when it counted. You saw she hit the shots that she needed to. She found that backhand when she needed the big points. And then now she's adding that extra intangible of I'm going to come forward and really reap the rewards of those successes. And I think that's going to be a huge difference maker when she plays the more consistent players, like a CoCo Gauff, that she struggles against. We saw her really not have an answer when it came to those longer exchanges, and I think coming forward is going to be the key." Aryna Sabalenka and CoCo Gauff's head-to-head record. Aryna Sabalenka and CoCo Gauff have faced each other 11 times during their respective careers, dating back to 2020. While Sabalenka has registered some impressive performances against Gauff, it is the American who holds the superior head-to-head record, leading by 6 wins to 5. Tournament. Round. Score. 2025 French Open. Final. Gauff won 6-7-6 to 2-6-4. 2025 Madrid Open. Final. Sabalenka won 6-3-7-6. 2024 WTA Finals. Semifinals. Gauff won 7-6-6-3. 2024 Wuhan Open. Semifinals. Sabalenka won 1-6-6 to 4-6-4. 2024 Australian Open. Semifinals. Sabalenka won 7-6-6-4. 2023 U.S. Open. Final. Gauff won 2-6-6 to 3-6-2. 2023 Indian Wells. Quarterfinals. Sabalenka won 6-4-6-0. 2022 Canadian Open. Round of 16. Gauff won 7-5-4 to 6-7-6. 2021 Italian Open. Round of 16. Gauff won 7-5-6-3. 2020 Ostrava, Czech Republic. Round of 16. Sabalenka won 1-6-7 to 5-7-6. 2020 Lexington, USA. Round of 16. Gauff won 7-6-4 to 6-6-4. Aryna Sabalenka versus CoCo Gauff. The two players are on a collision course at the Cincinnati Open. As the two highest-seeded players, Gauff and Sabalenka could meet in the final. Sabalenka faces Spain's Jessica Bouzes Monero in the round of 16, while Gauff will go up against Italy's Lucia Bronzetti. The difference maker, CoCo Vandeweghe, weighs in on Sabalenka's secret weapon against CoCo Gauff. Buy your name. In the high-stakes, high-speed world of professional tennis, it's often the smallest of changes, subtle technical tweaks, slight mental shifts, or strategic realignments that separate champions from challengers. And when it comes to Aryna Sabalenka, one of the most powerful and polarizing players on the WTA Tour, the question isn't whether she has the tools, it's whether she can sharpen them precisely enough to conquer the likes of CoCo Gauff. Enter CoCo Vandeweghe. The former world number 9, known for a booming serve and fearless on-court persona, recently made headlines with a compelling insight during a post-match commentary. Sitting courtside during a sizzling North American hardcourt swing, Vandeweghe offered an intriguing observation. Sabalenka's working on something different. It might not look obvious yet, but I think she's building a huge difference maker, something to help her finally beat Gauff consistently. A bold claim, to be sure, but not unfounded. Gauff versus Sabalenka, a clash of generations, games, and grit. To understand what this difference maker might be, we need to look at the evolving rivalry between CoCo Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. The two have met several times over the past few seasons, most memorably in the 2023 U.S. Open Final, where Gauff, the then teenage sensation from Delray Beach, stunned the Belarusian power hitter in a 3-set thriller. Gauff's ability to absorb pace, redirect shots with surgical precision, and bring relentless defense to the court has frustrated Sabalenka in key matches. Sabalenka, in contrast, thrives on dictating play, flattening the ball with ferocious ground strokes and overpowering opponents off the baseline. Yet, for all her brute strength, Aryna has struggled to maintain composure and consistency when faced with Gauff's athleticism and tactical clarity. Her unforced errors tend to spike, her serve can falter, and her usually dependable aggression starts to look rushed and desperate. So when Vandeweghe says Sabalenka might be building a difference maker, it begs the question, what exactly is she working on? Reading between the lines, what Vandeweghe might be seeing. As a former top player with experience in Grand Slam semifinals and Fed Cup pressure cookers, CoCo Vandeweghe knows the anatomy of elite-level improvement. Her claim isn't likely based on speculation alone. Those close to the tour have noticed a few subtle developments in Sabalenka's game that could support Vandeweghe's assertion. 1. The slice backhand, a new dimension. One of the most notable additions to Sabalenka's arsenal in recent months has been an improved slice backhand. Previously seen as a last resort or emergency shot in her game, Sabalenka has been using the slice more intentionally, to break rhythm, buy time, and approach the net. Against Gauff's loopy topspin forehand, a biting low slice could be a key tool to disrupt her comfort zone. Vandeweghe, a player who often used variety to her advantage, may have spotted this as a strategic breakthrough. You can't just hit through CoCo anymore, Vandeweghe noted in the post-match segment. You need variety. You need the ability to mix it up without losing control. If Aryna adds that, it changes the whole dynamic. 2. Net play and transitioning. Another evolution? Sabalenka's willingness to approach the net. She's no Martina Navratilova, but in recent matches, Sabalenka has shown a growing comfort finishing points at the net, especially off short balls. Her footwork is cleaner, her volleys more decisive. Against a defender like Gauff, who thrives in long rallies, cutting points short could be crucial. She's starting to think ahead, Vandeweghe said. Not just hit hard, but build the point. That's a huge mental shift. 3. Emotional control, the biggest unknown. But perhaps the biggest difference maker is invisible, emotional regulation. Sabalenka has long battled herself as much as her opponents. Double faults, racket smashes, and on-court outbursts have haunted her on the biggest stages. Yet in recent months, fans and analysts alike have noticed a calmer Aryna, one who breathes between points, talks to her box less, and refocuses more quickly. Gauff doesn't give you free points, Vandeweghe said. You need to stay composed and make her beat you, not beat yourself. Aryna's starting to figure that out. What if she's right? A future rematch reimagined. Let's fast forward a few months. Imagine a major semifinal, say, the Australian Open 2026. Sabalenka and Gauff meet again under the bright lights. But this time, the Belarusian isn't just swinging for winners. She's slicing low balls to Gauff's forehand, drawing short balls, approaching the net with confidence, and, most importantly, holding serve with nerves of steel. In this hypothetical future, the match isn't just a test of firepower versus defense, but chess versus chess. And Sabalenka, thanks to these new tools, begins to tip the balance in her favor. Would it be enough to beat Gauff? Possibly. Would it change the entire women's tour? Definitely. Because if Sabalenka can break through, she proves something larger. That reinvention at the top is possible. That even the game's most explosive talents can evolve. The champion's code, adapt or fade. CoCo Vandeweghe knows firsthand how hard it is to adapt. Her own career was marked by blistering highs and injury-laden lows. But what she sees in Sabalenka is a player not content to stay where she is. Look, I've been in her shoes, she said. Sometimes you hit a wall, and you can either break down or break through. If Sabalenka does break through against Gauff and others, Vandeweghe's prediction will look less like commentary and more like prophecy. Conclusion: the making of a difference. Whether it's a new shot, a better mindset, or just the belief that change is possible, Aryna Sabalenka's development is one of the most fascinating storylines in tennis today. CoCo Gauff remains a juggernaut, wise beyond her years, cool under pressure, and constantly improving. But if Sabalenka can forge her difference maker, the next chapter of this rivalry may be its most thrilling yet. As Vandeweghe put it, with a smirk only a former pro could deliver. Everyone's looking at the same Sabalenka. I see someone different, and CoCo better be ready.